Hey, welcome World Entertainment. Hope everyone in the US had a good Thanksgiving, eating all that turkey and all that good stuff. But the news now is Wyatt Russell is going to lead a Monarch Legacy of Monsters spin-off, a prequel to the prequel. Now people will go, oh god, more prequels. No. Listen, Wyatt Russell's character, who was the younger Lee Shaw, his stuff was some of the best stuff in Legacy of Monsters. Why? Because it was them, as Monarch was discovering the Titans, when they first start finding out about Godzilla and all the rest of them. So the idea that we could follow his story in that time period, that's good news. But let's have a look at this, because of course season 2 of Monarch is on its way. So let's have a look at this news. So Nexus Point News is reporting that Apple TV is moving forward with a currently untitled Monarch Legacy of Monsters prequel. Avengers Doomsday star Wyatt Russell will reprise his role as the young Lee Shaw, a role he shares with his father Kurt Russell in the main series. The site explains that the series will be set during the Cold War and grapple with tensions between the US and Russia in the world of monsters. So that's an interesting take. Now, if you haven't watched Legacy of Monsters, or maybe you have, you'll know that the reason he plays the younger version and Kurt Russell still the older version, he got trapped in, it's not the Middle Earth, it's a place in between, or the Hollow Earth, not Middle Earth, it's not Lord of the Rings, the Hollow Earth. It's an area in between our surface and that, which time basically stands still. So if you're down there for like a couple of hours, you've actually been down there for a few days. If you're down there for like 5 hours, you're down there for pretty much 2 weeks. And that's how time passed. So getting him from what was the Second World War to the Cold War makes sense, because he was brought out, I believe it was 28 years after the Second World War had ended by the time they get him out. So Joby Harold has been tapped to serve as the prequel showrunner. He's also set to executive produce with his wife and producing partner Troy Turnell through their production company Safe House Pictures. As well as starring, Russell is on board as executive producer. The series will begin production in Prague next summer, so it shouldn't be too long before we learn more about what to expect. As we write this, Apple TV has now officially announced the project. So it's interesting that this Monarch Legacy of Monsters spin-off is putting the spotlight on the younger Shaw, especially as his story is already being told there. I suppose they're talking about now. I don't know what way they're wording that. Apple TV clearly believes there's room to expand on that with this series, and it should be interesting to discover how the show fits into wider plans for the Monsterverse. The franchise began with Godzilla in 2014, and it's since expanded with Kong Skull Island, Godzilla King of Monsters, Godzilla vs. Kong, Godzilla X Kong The New Empire, and the upcoming Godzilla X Kong Supernova. And I'm surprised it doesn't have Monarch Season 1 in there. Apple TV recently released the first trailer for Monarch Legacy of Monsters Season 2 that will pick up with the fate of Monarch and the world hanging in the balance. Reads the official synopsis, and we've seen all that, and we know who that all stars. Again, the Wyatt Russell stuff was some of the best stuff that was in there, the younger Shaw, because you were seeing them discovering the Titans. They didn't expect to find them, and it was kind of like, yeah, I don't think what yous are looking for is really here and stuff like that. And then boom, there they are. Now, the one thing that may go against it is the fact that they've just said that it's set in the Cold War, which means his love interest, I can't remember the character's name, and the guy that John Goodman played in Skull Island, they obviously wouldn't be there. Well, no, Skull Island wouldn't be, would he? Because that was the Cold War. That was after Nam. So, yeah, he wouldn't be in it. He'd be dead already. Because, of course, he got eaten in Skull Island. But you're going to lose that element of it where, you know, his back and forth with them two. So that could be a bit of concern. But then again, you could have him where he's obviously trying to convince people that, hey, look, these things are here. And, but, you know, they're not getting seen and he's not getting believed until, boom, something happens. It's an interesting concept. I do like the idea of this. I am surprised that they are doing it in the Cold War. I thought they might go a little bit further. I thought maybe they were going to try and do it between the first time he sees the Titans to pretty much the time he gets stuck in between the Hollow Earth and our Earth. But clearly they've decided we'll move it forward because, again, he does get brought out and he wakes up and he's meeting people and it's like his it's the kid of his love interest and he's an older man, like, and he's like, how long have I been down there? And he's like 28 years or something like that, you know. That's how long he was down there, and he wakes up and everything's kind of more modern now. So there's a lot you can toy with in that sense of things. And of course you could have him trying to run and get away from Monarch because Monarch are after him because he has all that kind of information and they don't want that information out. It'll be interesting to see what they do. And of course, there's room that you can get Kurt Russell as well to, you know, him there saying, oh yeah, I discovered this one. You know, so he's kind of like telling you the story and then we go into the episode and it's Wyatt Russell running around as young Shaw. It's going to be interesting to see what they can do with it. I think there'll be a lot of people who watched Monarch that will be very much up for this because a lot of the people were saying some of the best stuff in those episodes were those flashbacks with the younger Shaw and stuff. So the fact that they are committed to doing a spin-off with him, the younger version, that's good news. It really is. We will have to wait and see. Clearly they are pushing forward with it, that it's going to start filming next summer, so that's good news. So we're going to have season 2 drop next year, and then probably by the same time the following year we should have this spin-off. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's good news. It'll be interesting to see who they round the cast out with and what the actual story details will be. But what do you guys think? Of course, if you've seen Monarch, do you think this is a good idea? If you haven't, well, does this get you interested in maybe checking it out? Let me know in the comments. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So do like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Cheers. I'll catch you in the next one.